Imagine being so certain of your own power that you'd leap into a volcano to prove it. This isn't just a myth whispered in passing, it's the legendary fate of Empedocles, a man who lived more than 2,400 years ago in Sicily. Philosopher, poet, healer, even miracle worker, he was described as all of these. Some said he could cure disease, others swore he could control the weather. And Empedocles himself? He claimed he was no ordinary mortal, but a god in human form. But how does a respected thinker end up tied to one of history's strangest death stories? Let's find out. Empedocles lived during the Golden Age of Greece, a time when new ideas about nature, science, and the universe were exploding across the Mediterranean. He believed the entire world was made of just four elements: earth, air, fire, and water. These forces, he said, mixed and clashed to create everything: mountains, rivers, animals, even people. But Empedocles wasn't just interested in explaining the world, he wanted to transform it. He wore flowing purple robes, crowned himself with garlands, and walked barefoot like a prophet. Followers described him as larger than life, while critics saw him as eccentric, maybe even dangerous. And always, looming behind him, was Mount Etna, one of the most active volcanoes on Earth. A volcano that would one day become forever linked with his name. The most famous story says Empedocles wanted to prove his divinity. To show he was more than human, he climbed Mount Etna and leapt into its crater, but the volcano revealed his secret. According to legend, the eruption later spat out one of his bronze sandals, exposing the truth: he wasn't immortal, just a man consumed by fire. This detail, the sandal, has been repeated for centuries. It's vivid, memorable, and almost comical. Imagine the great philosopher trying to vanish into flames, only for his shoe to give him away. Did Empedocles really do this? Historians doubt it. The story comes mainly from writers like Diogenes Laertius, who lived about 700 years later. By then, Empedocles had already become a larger-than-life figure. The volcano tale may have been invented by rivals to ridicule him. It wasn't unusual in ancient times to exaggerate deaths. Philosophers often received legendary endings, some struck by lightning, others vanishing mysteriously. These deaths weren't history, they were morality plays, and Empedocles was the perfect target. His self-proclaimed divinity, his dramatic clothing, his followers who treated him like a prophet. It was easy to spin a story of arrogance punished by fire, yet there's a twist. Other accounts suggest he died abroad, in exile. Some say he simply disappeared, leaving no trace. To his admirers, that mystery confirmed his godlike status. To his enemies, it made him fair game for mockery. And so the volcano legend stuck. Whether he burned in Etna or not, Empedocles' ideas lasted. His four-element theory shaped medicine, science, and philosophy for centuries. Even the famous four humors of medieval medicine, blood, phlegm, black bile, yellow bile, came directly from Empedocles' elements. He also introduced early ideas about evolution. He suggested that living beings were formed from random combinations of body parts, eyes, arms, torsos, that only survived if they worked together. Strange as it sounds, some call this a distant ancestor of Darwin's theory, but ironically, it isn't his science that made him unforgettable. It's the story of his fiery end, the man who leapt into a volcano. Legends have a strange power, they survive even when the facts don't. And Empedocles, who wanted to be remembered as a god, achieved immortality in a way he might not have expected, through myth. So, was Empedocles a genius, a fraud, or simply a man with a flair for drama? The truth may be buried in history, but the story still burns bright. What do you think? Did he really jump, or was it just a tale meant to mock him? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this mystery, don't miss our next video, 10 real places on Earth that seem impossible. Subscribe to Strange Vista Studio for more wild facts, bizarre stories, and hidden history.